Okay, so we're on the boat today. Been windy the last few days. In fact, it's windy today. So we got some rocking going on, you can probably see. But that's fine. We're doing electrical today. The shoreline for this boat comes in and just comes up to the connector. So what we're going to do is install a new circuit box and a few of the junctions, and I'm going to walk you through step by step basically what we're doing here. So here we go. What we did is we picked up a roll of 14-2. That is 14 gauge, 2-strand wire. The third one is a ground. It's not 14-3. 14-3 would be 3 wires in the ground. The ground is dead, and you can verify that what it usually says here with ground. So this is 14-2. We could have gone 12-2. The smaller wire is a bigger gauge, but this is plenty for what we're using. We're going to install 2 30-amp circuits. One is going to be our air conditioning and our battery charger. The other one is going to be our TV, kitchen, appliance circuit. So we're going to have plenty of power here. We'll run our main line, our junction line in here. So we've got a regular little square D junction box, home line, square D, 2-circuit load center, a ground bus bar. So we're going to have a ground circuit clean in here, 2 circuit breakers. We got a large clamp connection here to bring our main line in, and I put 2 smaller ones for each of our lines going out. I picked up 3 boxes, 3 outlets, and 3 covers as well. So that is what this project is going to consist of. So we're going to go outside. This is going to go under the hatch on deck, and we'll show you where we're going to mount it. What we're going to do, we're going to probably mount this sideways and put a mount bar out there and all that. And so we'll be back with you in just a second. Okay, so we're out here on deck at the first port hatch, and what we're going to do is set that right there. Got a nice windy day. So right here, what we've got is behind the refrigerator where we have some of this access still. We're gonna mount that box right here first of all. Now, once we get this mounted, it will be a little more difficult to work inside of it. So we're gonna go ahead and do some of our connections prior to that. You know, we've got everything, in place and tight, and then we'll mount it to the wall. So first things first, we're going to prep the ends of our wires here by getting rid of the connectors that we're not going to use. I'm going to bear just enough to run through, because what we're going to do is we're going to come in and clamp it, but we need to be able to run. So let's run this back. Let's bear this back some more. Okay. And let me get this set up, and then I'll be right back with you. All right. So here's what we've got. What I've done was I've run all 3 wires into here. I've gone ahead and clamped it down so I can work with this. We're going to set these up and get them prepped for the first few screws. Figure out what I do with my screwdriver. So on all major electrical wiring, green is going to be your ground, white is going to be your neutral or common, and black is going to be your hot. So right here, we're going to loosen up this one. We're going to loosen up this one. We're going to loosen up this one. And we're going to go ahead and loosen up this first ground over here on our ground bus bar. So, first thing I'm going to do, just to get it out of the way, is to get our ground in. I want to gauge about where. Now here's the thing. A neat electrical box is a safe electrical box. If everything's got its place, everything's in its place, then it's more likely to be safe, as well as easy to maintain and monitor. So if there's an issue, it's easier to see. It also looks really, really good when it comes to installing and such. Nice and tight. Most people don't realize electrical can vibrate. So over time, it will actually loosen on its own. All the more reason to make sure everything's good and tight and snug and etc. So that's gonna lay cleanly there. Then we're gonna look at the white or common. I'm gonna bring it up this way a little bit. I want it to lay a little proud. So we're gonna cut it right there. I don't have my regular cutters with me today, all my regular usual electrical gear, so I'm working a little slower than I normally would and a little less professional as I would. I normally would not do this because it can damage the wires underneath. You normally want to use a stripper only. Which will just basically, you can cut the wire just thick enough to go through the wire and then pull it apart. So normally that would be the recommended way to do it. Now I'm going to make sure that when I install this one, I am clamping the wire, not the rubber. I cut that a little shorter than I could have, so I'm holding it out so that the bolt, that stud, sits promptly and on that metal wire, because otherwise you're not getting a connection. There we go. Alright, next we've got a temporary pigtail here, temporary jumper, until we get back over to the hardware store and pick up a bus jump, or bus bar jump basically, kind of thing, which should jump between the two. But for now, this should do it. Now this is the fun part, the difficult part, depending on how you look at it. We gotta get this one here. Hope y'all can see it okay. And this one here, both into that jumper right there. There we go. Now, once you get them all nice and snug like that, take your pliers, double check. Make sure she's not gonna just pull out, especially that one, that's my hot. Yep, she's nice and snug. Okay, and if she had any movement, then I would take that screwdriver, I push her in there and I'd tighten her down again. But we're good. All right. So what we're going to do now is install an additional circuit to a box. What we've got here is, get adjusted. What we've got here is our box is installed, but now we want to add another breaker or another outlet. So here's what you need. You need a box to put it in. You need wire enough to go from the box to your circuit breaker. Cover plate, of course. Some electrical tape. Screwdriver. And preferably wire strippers and a pair of pliers. Or a pair of needle nose are good. So let's walk through this. Here's what we do. First, we determine how we're going to mount, how the box will be mounted. You can do this in place, but I'm going to show you here for demonstration here on the table. So, I already know this is going to mount like this. The wire is going to come in this one right here. So I'm going to knock it out, run my wire right through it, just so it's already there, and then we're going to open up the other end. Now, again, you want to run more than you need, but I already know how much this is going to be, so err on the side of caution, especially if you're running long runs. That way you don't end up with waste or safety concerns. And out of full disclosure, if you are not electrically or mechanically minded, or you don't know what you're doing, don't do this. Of course, we're doing this bare before any power has even been turned on. But normally, if this was, let's say you were adding to a box that's already existing, you would eliminate the power by turning it off. So, outlets are going to have a green, a silver, and a gold, okay? And typically with outlets, the gold is going to be your hot, the silver is going to be your neutral, and your green is of course always your ground. Now, you can put it through the little plugs back here, you can push this in there. Problem is, it's stuck in there, it's done. I think it's a better way to go to do a small pull out, and it'll even say here, it'll give you an idea of how long you should do it. But for me, my opinion is do it the old-fashioned way. This is not a new construction where we're running through a house trying to get this on time. We want a safe connection, so we're going to do a hook. With that, we got our gold and our silver. We're going to take our neutral or white to our silver. We're going to hook it right on there clockwise so that when we tighten it down, it actually tightens tighter. Like so. Nice and snug. Okay? Same thing with the other side. We want to do a same type of thing right here. And I may have closed those up a little bit, so if you need to open it up or not close it so far, that's fine. Get it in there. If you do them longer, then you have to kind of close them in, that's fine. Get it around that wire so it's not pushing out when you tighten it down. There it is. And now we're going to tighten it down. Now, Phillips would probably be a better option with this one right here. But since I've been working on the breaker box, I had it still in flat mode on my screwdriver. That's fine. So, lastly, and practically most important, is ground. And I'm going to give it a nice big turn. Get it in between the two prongs, or the two tabby things sticking up, holding the wire. Use the pliers to give me a little help. And there's an example right there where I made it longer, and I'm going to go through and just make sure it's in there. Okay? I'm going to go ahead and flip this to Phillips head too. There we go, right there. Right there, tighten her down. There we go. Okay? Now, code in many states likes to have this covered. I think it's a good habit to be in anyway, because it eliminates potential short circuits and overlaid contact and such. You have to kind of watch out with your screws, and it looks like I'm missing a screw. I have to figure out where that went. Okay. Like so. And that is good enough. Just gives you a little extra protection on those contacts right there. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and lay this in here. I'm gonna get a little bit of extra wire for maintenance. So if I need to pull it apart and do maintenance, like so. Here, because that's pretty snug. And of course, crap, there it is right there. I was going to say missing my screw. Crappy product, but whatever. Alright. Outlet. Screw. That's the outlet side. So let's go screw this to the box, and then we'll show you how to wire the other side. Now we're looking at cords. what I've got is here the cord that's going to go to our AC. Now the AC cord, because of what it is, we're going to run it high. And you notice I've already cut these nice and long. And I might even cut them longer, but for the most part, you want them good and long. And we're going to go longer, because I'm going to pull it in here. We're going to take that to right about center away. We're going to expose that a little bit more. Boats are rocking today, that's for sure. Okay. Now, when I first started electrical, I was always worried about every little inch of cable, you know, wasting cable, but when it really comes down to it, it's more efficient and safer to be too long and trim off and lose some than it is to go too short. Because for safety, if it's too short, you have one of two options: create a safety issue or replace the whole thing. And if you're making a long run, you don't want to rerun a 100-foot long run because of a 6-foot piece of cord. So cut them long, make use of it. All right, get that good and tight on the outside so we know we're there. Okay, first I'm going to install my ground, and I'm going to put it right up against there. I like to have it nice and strong. I'm going to find out where it's going to sit. It's going to go right to the first one, right about there. So we're going to give it a nice turn, and then we're going to cut it off. Put this over to make sure y'all can actually see what I'm doing. There we go. Okay. Now that ground is in, I'm going to take it right down here. Push it in nice and strong and snug her down. Okay, there we go. Now for my neutral, it's going to do the same kind of thing. We're going to create a turn point right there. I want to clean that up a little bit, make it look nice and nice and clean. Okay. We're going to come up to the first one and make the turn right there and cut it off. This one needs to be bared. Hate doing that with a razor knife, but it's what I've got right now. Gotta be careful not to go too deep, so I'm taking longer than I need to get into that. Strippers are the proper way to go there. And ironically, I have the right tools, I just don't have them with me. There we go. Same thing as before. Take it down there. Put it in the hole. Make sure we're not on the plastic. And tighten her down. Okay. Then I'm also gonna go ahead and clean it up a little bit. I just like a nice, clean, organized looking box. All right. Oops. That wasn't good. Okay. Now, for the hot wire, so. Nice and organized. Loosen it a little bit more. There we go. I want to get it nice, strong in there. I want to be able to see it coming out the other side. Right there. And then snug her down. Okay. And that will work. Okay. In fact, clean it up just a little bit more. There we go. Now we're going to screw this to the wall. My original thought was to go horizontal. I think we're going to go vertical, because now that I look at it, you have the space. It doesn't interfere as much as I thought it would. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and go horizontal with that. That'll be fine. Here we go. One box mounted. First of all, I have a stud right here. We're going to mount that outlet to. And what I'm going to do is simply I'm going to take this box like so, and I want it right down here below the spot, below this. So I'm going to do like so. There we go. All right, then on our cord, well, we're going to run it in. We're going to run this one right inside the same clamp. Okay, so we will prep this by loosening it. And we're going to speed it up a bit. Got them nice and tight. Alrighty, there we go. Because this one, there we go. Getting them lined up can be odd. I'm actually going to pre-trim this because I already know where it's going. Good and snug so it can't pull, no movement. Alright, now first thing first is ground. We got ground up.
And insert your wire.
Alright, there we go. Ground and neutral. Now we hook up our hot. This will be our first of our kitchen wires. So it's going to go there, roughly there. Something else you can also do is mount them when they're out. So for visibility, I'm going to pull this out. Put that wire in. Get it nice and snug. And then install it. There we go. Clean up my wires a little bit. Get them where I want them. And there we are. 2 circuits, 2 breakers, outlet AC. Now we get the voltmeter, check our shore power, and check our circuits. So right now our breakers are off. We're gonna leave this open for a minute. I'm gonna get my electrical circuit breaker or my wire tester. We're gonna turn it on and check the voltage at the thing, and then we'll kick it on, plug the AC on, and check it. But there we go. One electrical box, partly installed. Okay, so what we're doing next is we are going to test our shore cable. Okay, we got a nice big long shore cable. It's an older one. I just want to make sure we don't have any crazy continuity or crazy issues with it. Any old voltmeter that will test voltage and ohms or grounds or the omega symbol is really all you need to do this kind of work. There we go. You know, better are nicer because they give you more capabilities, but really and truly, there's a tone showing we've got 0.002 resistance just in our connectors. Now, I'm not sure if with this one I'm going to be able to get down into this one. But we're going to find out. There we go. 0.002, so that one's clean and clear. There we go. 0.003 on that one. And 0.002 on that one. So what I've also done, and I'm going to show you now, is what we're going to do is we're going to test each one as such. It doesn't matter if it's red or black, you know, you're checking for ground and continuity, okay? What I'm going to do is I'm going to find that one, and then get down in here and figure out where it's at, okay? Then I know I've got good connection between those two, that wire, there's no broken wire. But I'm also going to check and make sure that I'm not getting a connection, a cross connection. There's no short that's causing a cross connection. And the way I'm doing that is basically here, check it again, there's my connection. Let's verify no cross connection. Nothing, okay? It's good. There's our connection. No cross connection, we're good. We also want at this point to take a look at our connectors. No major burn or grinding or chip points or damage on either end, okay? Want to make sure we got good connections on both sides. We also want to inspect the wire itself. Make sure the wire looks reasonably good. This one's a bit dingy and dirty. that's fine. Want to make sure it's nice and, you know, protected and everything. It's not been yanked and pulled. We already checked our connection. We know we got a good connection there. So our boot looks good. So from that, looks good. Let's go check our outlet on the post and get ready to hook it to the boat. Be right back. Okay, so regardless of if you're on a boat or in an RV or whatever, you always want to make sure that your connection, and this says even here, you can see 30 amp, 120 volts, 125 volts, 120, 125, 124, almost pretty much the same. But 125 volts, 30 amp is what this is rated. Okay, you want to always confirm breakers and cable and 110. Here's our shore power right here. Okay, so we always want to confirm what we're pulling, what we've got. I'm gonna move this over so y'all can see what I'm doing. Hopefully that works. Okay, what we got here is we've got our shore cord. Okay, I'm gonna set my meter to 200 volts. That's DC. We want to go to AC. The wiggly line is AC because we are hooking to 120 AC. Okay. Now I'm going to take, and first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to connect the off lines and confirm I have nothing. Then I'm going to go to the main line, and I'm not going to be able to get into this, am I? Nope. Okay. So what we're going to have to do is go ahead and hook up our shore cord and test the other end of it and make sure what voltage we're getting through it. So, and it doesn't matter if you're at an RV park or on a boat, you always want to be nice and neat out here and not have cords running all over the dock, but we're going to clean those up in that. So first of all, I'm going to connect my shore cord like so, and this is not big enough to twist in, so it's just going to have to sit there. And then we test voltages. I'm hoping y'all can see all of this as we go. All right, here we go. Voltage. Offline, offline. These should be cold. I should move it here. I should end up getting a voltage reading. Come on. It should be because I got power out now, so there we go. Saw it for just a second. There we go. See if I can get it in the right spot. There we go. 118, so 120 volts. We're good there. Let's check our cross point, and let's see if we get the same 120. And I just can't get that connection. There we go. 118. There we go. So we're good. Let's make sure we don't have any bleed ground on an odd one, and nothing. So there we go. We have power in our shore cord. Okay, so our next step is our shore connector, which looks like this, but we need to clean it out. Okay, there's no power, we're not plugged in, so I'm just going to take a screwdriver like so, get all the spider stuff out of it. We don't want anything that can catch fire, can cross over, can cause any issues or such. What I'm going to do is I'm going to run it up and out of the way for now. Okay, this end. Like so. Pull my weather seal on top of it, like so. There we go. Connected. Now, let's get our shore cord all cleaned up and organized, and then we will move on to the next step. So we're connected to shore power. Next, we're gonna check voltages. Breakers are off. We're hot. We're gonna keep our hands clear. Not gonna get anywhere near it. Got our cover handy. Again, we're gonna switch this to 200 volts. Okay. And here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna check cautiously. Okay. First thing I'm gonna do is gonna put this on the black on the neutral, and the red on the hot. There we go. 120. So now we're going to install our cover. Hooked on the top, down the bottom. A little bit of our screw, and then we got our AC circuit and our plug circuit. So first we're going to plug in the plug circuit. We got our TV on. Alrighty, let's go do our AC. So what we did with the AC is we got just a Romex with an extension cord. And what we're going to end up doing is running this back behind the desk and such. Let's turn it off first so we don't get a surge of any sort. Plug it in. Make sure I got it plugged in the right way. There we go. New cord, nice and tight, and cool. All right, but that eliminates this crazy orange cord hanging. Get this thing out of the way. Clean it up one step at a time. So yeah, like I said, this is going to be run up under there at some point along the underside of the desk. In fact, we'll start doing that here in just a second. But that, ladies and gentlemen, is how you install an extra outlet, as well as hook up a circuit panel and check your shore power.